up, YouTube? It's Ace Poker back again. Now I am 22 years old. Thank you guys for all the birthday wishes. We're back to another private game session today, same from last vlog. Hopefully you guys enjoy the action. Hopefully we can take some bomb pot wins today. 2-5, gonna buy in deep, have a good session, play a couple hours. So hopefully you guys enjoy the session, and let's get right into some cards. Alright everyone, welcome back to vlog 28. Stay tuned to the end. It's a very long vlog, but lots of big hands, lots of huge pots. Huge win, played 6 hours, so definitely stay tuned. You guys are really going to love it. For the first hand here, we pick up ace 10 suited in the hijack, decide to raise to $20. The cutoff to my direct left decides to 3-bet to $95. Personally, I don't really want to go to battle right away with this hand. I only bought in for $500. So to call off really like 20% of my stack with ace 10 suited, don't really want to do that, so I decided to fold this one, and we're on to the next. Alright, this may be a spoiler alert, but we pick up pocket 10s in the big blind, and we may or may not pick them up 5 or 6 times during the session. You'll have to stay tuned to find out, but the button decides to raise to $20, the small blind calls $20, we decide to 3-bet pretty big to $105, the button winds up folding, and then the small blind folds, so I don't mind that. Take down about $50 of dead money here. Not too many good flops with pocket 10s, and we're on to the next one. Let's just stick with the pocket pair theme, as now we pick up the beautiful pocket queens. There's one limp, I'm in the cutoff, I decide to open it up to $30 here. The small blind decides to call $30 and the big blind calls $30, so it's just me and both the blinds. They could have a super wide range here, so let's see a flop. We see a really good flop in King, King 5, no flush draw out there. The small blind checked in the dark. The big blind now leads for $60, which is super weird, right into the pre-flop aggressor. There's no point in raising here. This is just a pure call. A raise is totally overplaying my hands, and I think I'm either way ahead or way behind, so I call. And now the small blind calls as well. So honestly, I think I am screwed because this just doesn't make any sense. The big blind leads right into the pre-flop aggressor. I call, and now the small blind overcalls. What is the small blind going to overcall on a King, King 5 dry board? Doesn't make any sense. I really think I'm just completely destroyed here. Let's see what the turn brings. The turn brings absolutely no help in a 3. If this hand didn't get weird enough, the small blind checked in the dark again. Now the big blind checks, and I decide to check again. So after all the action on the flop, everyone checks. Now we see a jack on the river, and now the small blind leads out for $100. This hand is so weird. The big blind folds, and although I'm getting an amazing price, and I only have to be right around, 25 to 30% of the time, I just think I'm completely beat here. I don't really know why. I decide to fold pocket queens here, and thankfully my opponent chose king queen suited. So wow, he pretty much can only hit a king, and he didn't need one of them. He hit 2 of them. I'm happy that I was able to get away from this hand, and the big blind honestly helped me, because if he didn't do what he did, I probably would have bet and then called all the way down, but he just made it super weird. Yeah, it was really fishy to me. Happy I figured that one out, and let me know what you guys think of this one in the comments. Alright, let's try to get some redemption with my favorite hand, pocket 4s. We are in the low jack. There are 2 limps ahead of us. I limp. Now the big blind, the same big blind from the last hand, this is a full orbit later, decides to raise it up to $20. Both limpers call. I'm getting a great price, and I decide to call. Let's smash a set here. Send me some of that run good, and boom, we smash a set on King 5-3 with 2 spades. Everyone checks to the initial raiser, and he goes big. He bets $50. Both other players fold, and this is something that I've been working on. I don't always want to raise right away with my really good hands, although I do raise flush draws a lot, so I just call the $50 here. Looking for a good turn, no spade, and we get it, the queen of clubs. Now I decide to continue to check in flow. My opponent goes ahead and bets $75. He's clearly got a good hand here, so I raise it up to $175. Don't want to go too big. I think I have roughly $200 behind, so I definitely could have jammed here, made it a little bit bigger, but I don't want him to go anywhere, and he pretty quickly makes the call. So we're headed to a river, looking for a good one, and boom, the 8 of clubs. We have the nuts unless my opponent has pocket kings, but let's see. The action's on me, and I decide to go all in for roughly $200. There's no way he can fold. I set this up perfectly for him to call here, but he literally snap folds. Oh my goodness, I show the 4s, and he claims he had ace king? I don't think so. He was calling people all night with 3rd and 4th pair all the way down. There's no way he's folding ace king here. If it's somehow that he had ace king, good fold to you, sir. Well played. But I don't think so. I think that was cap. I think that was a load of BS. I think he had a flush draw. But let's go. We win. We bank a set. 444, my favorite number. And let's keep it going in the right direction. Like I said, pocket tens again. I decide to open it up to $35 after 2 limps, and the small blind and big blind decide to make the call. The same player from the queen's hand earlier, so let's see if we can get them back. We see a disgusting board of king jack 5. They both check. I don't really see any value in betting here, so I check. See a 6 on the turn. The small blind checks. The big blind bets $25, and call me crazy, but I just let this one go. I don't play my sessions to make hero calls all the way down, and I always try to pick my spots carefully and very good. Don't think that this is a good spot, so I decided to fold. Let me know what you guys think. Time for the first splash pot of the day. If you guys don't know, everyone puts in $25. The house puts in $100. Cards get dealt out. Flop, turn, river. Whoever wins, wins. We see a massive flop. Top pair. Open-ended straight draw. Let's get there. Let's win. Board runs out. We still have top pair. Didn't hit our straight. We flip it over. We seemingly might win. And we get slow rolled by trip twos. This one's an L. Let's see if we can win the next one. Alright, back to the regularly scheduled broadcast of pocket tens, this time in the small blind. Basically the whole table limps. I decide to make it $30 and only 2 players decide to make a call. So we're going to a flop, which is not good. Ace 5-3 with 2 diamonds, but I decide I should have all the strong aces here and decide to c-bet for a down bet of $20, hoping to take the pot down right now obviously, so let's see if that happens. And both players make the call. Yep, oh my goodness, let's see a turn, let's navigate it, maybe we can bank a 10. Nope, the 7 of diamonds, the front door flush comes in. I am done with this hand, I check. The next player bets 50, the next player folds, and I decide to just fold. Seemingly, we're going to keep getting pocket 10s, so let's see if we can win once with them. You know what, if pocket 10s aren't going to work, let's downgrade and try pocket 8s. Under the gun +1 raises to $20. The player to my right in the hijack decides to call $20. I'm in the cutoff and I decide to 3-bet this one to $90. I know it's a bit of an unorthodox play, but definitely can't always be 3-betting the extremely strong hands. The original raiser decides to make the call and the other player decides to fold. So we're going heads up to a board of 9-5-2. Definitely a really good board. I should definitely be winning here unless he has pocket 9s, pocket 10s, pocket jacks. Think he might come over the top with that one. But when he checks, I decide to c-bet here. For the same sizing I chose pre-flop, $90 again, and he makes the call. Now we see a pretty gross turn in the jack of spades. Now any jack will be beating us, and if he had a flush draw, he gets there. He decides to check though, and I decide let's go for it. We don't always want to be jamming with the nuts. Semi-bluff, we have the 8 of spades, which is pretty good holding, so we go for it. We go all in for $300. My opponent thinks it over for not too long and decides to fold, so we get it through. We might have had the best hand, I don't know, but happy with how I played this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Splash pot time again, and we look down at pocket queens. Oh my goodness, definitely not a really good hand to have here, but let's go to the audio and let's see if we can win this one.
Straight.
Anybody has anything?
I got ace high. I got a straight.
We get it?
5.
Oh, let's go.
5-8 suited. Trip 5.
Alright, we finally win some money in a splash pot. It's nice to at least chop that one so we don't get bad beat with queens. In this hand, we pick up ace jack of diamonds in the small blind. Under the gun raised to $30, and I decide to call $30, and the big blind calls $30 as well. So we're 3 ways to a really good flop of jack 10-3 rainbow. Under the gun now leads out pretty big for $50, and I'm going to stick with the unorthodox play here and raise this one up to $145. I know it's very unorthodox. I would like to share my thoughts after the hand. The big blind folds, and under the gun pretty quickly calls $145, so I'm putting him on some kind of king-queen straight draw, or maybe 7-8, I don't know, 8-9, we'll see. The turn now brings a jack. Nice. So heart flush draws out there. If he had an overpair, we're beating that. King queen still is a straight draw, and I decide to bet $90. I down bet here. I want to keep him in with everything. I think I'm obviously massively in the lead here, and again, he pretty quickly calls $90. Now the river comes a 10, so we make top full house, and I think it's actually awful. We're chopping with all of their jacks now. If he's somehow slow playing a jack here, all the overpairs are going to hate this river and probably fold. I look down, I count out my chips, I have roughly $420 left in my stack, and I decide to go all in. Immediately, he looks disgusted, and I am hating the bet here. I now know that he definitely has one of those overpairs, and I am praying that he can just think I'm bluffing and just make the call. Please, one time, let's get paid off. And he decides to fold aces face up. Ew, this is disgusting. I posted this on my Discord. I wanted feedback from all of you guys, and immediately I knew I messed up. I should have bet $150 to $200 on this river, because if we think about the hands that he could have here from an under the gun raise, it's usually going to be aces, kings, queens, maybe an unbelieving pocket nines. Obviously pocket tens beats us for quads. He could have had king queen for a straight draw. That's not going to call anything. I just think I made a huge mistake just jamming the river. Need to be down betting here for value, so I'm very upset. I missed out on roughly $150 to $200. I don't mind my raise on the flop just to kind of see where I was at. And if the turn didn't bring a jack, I definitely would have slowed down and checked it back. So I think it allows me to get to a river kind of cheaper, because maybe then he bets around $200 on the river and I'll have to call if it's not an ace, king, or queen. So I don't mind how I played the hand, just think I messed up on the river. But let me know what you guys think. Always happy to hear all of the feedback in the comments. Just a nice little stack update. We've got around $1,100. Let's keep running it up. For this hand, I pick up ace queen suited on the button and raise to $35, and only the small blind makes the call, so we're heads up to a really good board of 8-2-4 with 2 spades. The small blind checks, I see bet for $30, and they call, so looking to hit the spade, which we do not. It pairs the board, brings another 2, they check, and I reach for chips, and they just snap fold. I don't even put out a bet, they just snap fold, so that's awesome. Picking up about $65, $70, doing really nothing. Thanks, and we're on to the next one. I'm dead serious. We literally have black pocket tens again. We're in the small blind. Action folds around the table. They want to chop. I say let's just run it out for the progressive, which I forgot it's quad jacks or higher, so this was just a waste of time. But yeah, pocket tens again. Let's go. As the age-old saying goes, don't go broke in limped pots. We are in the big blind here. We just check our option with king 9 offsuit and see a wonderful board of king 9-5 rainbow. What's even better is under the gun leads out $20, and I decide to raise this one up to $55, and he makes the call. So already a juicy pot after just $20 in the middle to start this flop. We see an alright turn and the queen of hearts bringing in a heart flush draw. I decide to put my foot on the gas and bet $110, and under the gun makes the call again. So this is a super juicy board, looking for a brick river, which we sort of get, the 8 of diamonds. So the flush draw bricks out, and 6-7 now makes a straight. I don't know what to really do here. I think that betting here or jamming here is kind of too thin, and although I love going for thin value, you guys know that, I think there's more merit to check here. So I check, and just as planned, my opponent goes all in. But now I want you guys to think about this hand a little bit. It doesn't really make sense for him to just have a pure bluff here. There was no flush draws on the flop. Sure, there was hearts on the turn. I really thought this opponent had pocket fives. It makes total sense to limp that, hit the 5, bet it out, call a raise, just flat call the turn. Although I think personally I would raise the turn, but you know, to each their own. Some people would just flat call and then jam the river. Definitely max value from him. And I was playing with him earlier in the night. He was super tight, so honestly I really debated a fold. But let's be honest here, if I'm folding 2 pair, then I'm going to be extremely exploited, and I just need to make this call. So I suck it up, make the call, and my opponent flips over 5-6 of hearts for a pure bluff. Honestly, a really good candidate because he blocks straights and sets, but not really good in blocking the hearts because he would want me to have the heart flush draw that missed. But let's go. We pick up a massive pot. This went from a limped pot to $20 in the middle to basically over $900. Let's go. This is huge. We are trending in the right direction. Things are going our way. Happy he had a bluff. I think I played this one really well. Let me know what you guys think, and let's go.
Never. Not just one.
Come on.
Oh my god, I have a full house. We don't even have time to stack all of our chips. 5 minutes later, we have a splash pot, and we hit a full house on the river with pocket 6s. Let's go. We are trending in the right direction. Let's keep it going. Just a little chip stack update for you guys. Let's keep building this thing and build a massive mountain to cash out. Let's go. We go card dead for a bit, but it's alright because we peel ace king offsuit and see the perfect development. The button raises to $20, the small blind calls $20, and I bump it up to $90. The initial raiser folds and the small blind decides to come along. So we're going heads up to a flop here, looking to see an ace or a king. Ace king has been treating me very well recently. We see a flop of 9-9-2. He checks, I decide to c-bet, and he folds, showing me ace 10. I show him ace king and say you didn't want to see an ace. He was a vlog watcher. We talked for a while. Super cool to meet a lot of you guys that watch my vlogs, so I appreciate it. And if you're watching this right now, shout out to you. You're a cool dude. Keep playing, keep grinding, keep learning, and I hope you always enjoy poker and run good. Another amazing development as we look down at pocket kings. This video is not sponsored by Kirkland. The dude to my left was a big guy and I was not telling him to get the water off the table, so just deal with it there. But basically, straddle's on, two people call $10, the loose crazy guy decides to make it $30, the player to my right calls $30, and I bump it up to $130. The loose crazy guy decides to call $130 and the other player folds. So just me and him, and he's down a lot of money, are headed to a flop here, which seems really good, 10-10-5. He checks to me, and I don't think there's a lot of merit to betting here. Think he'll just fold a lot of his weak pairs or, you know, any garbage he could have here, and I just want to let him catch up. Hit a jack, hit a queen, hit anything, and pay me off. So I check, and the turn's one of those good cards, a queen. He checks, and now for some reason, I decide to check it back. I don't know. I think in the moment my plan was to just bomb the river. Like, whatever the river is, just bomb it, and he'll just call me with anything. So we're headed to a river, which now comes a jack. Not really the best run out and not the best board for pocket queens here, and now he just leads out for $60, and I just snap call. I don't even raise nothing, and he flips over a jack 10 offsuit. Yep. Jack 10 offsuit for $130 pre-flop. I mean, you know, kudos to him, and honestly, you guys are going to ridicule how I played the hand, but it worked out, and you know, I don't recommend playing it the way I did. You're definitely not going to get max value like that, but wow, we lost the absolute minimum here, and just wow. The whole table couldn't believe it when I flipped over kings. Just an insane hand. Looking forward to hearing some of your guys' comments on this hand. Just an insane hand. Alright, splash pot time, last one of the night. We see the board, it's a little sloppy, but we eventually get there. We see the run out, and two people flip over two pair. So alright, going to need a spade flush, a set, something good here, maybe top two pair. We look down at our cards, and we have king 5 offsuit. Fat L for the last splash pot. Alright, I know it's been long, but this is the last hand of the night, and it is a massive one, so stay tuned. We have 6-7 of clubs. We limped under the gun. Yes, I know, weird play, but the cutoff raises to 20. The hijack calls 20. The small blind calls 20. We call 20, and we smash the flop 7-7-8 with 2 diamonds. The small blind checks, and what would you guys do here? I think that this is a board that the initial raiser might not see bet unless he's got a really, really good hand, so I just lead right out for $30. The initial raiser calls $30, the hijack calls $30, and the other player folds. So we're 3 ways to a turn here. Looking to see a really good card. Don't really want to see any straightening card unless it's a 6 or no diamond. And we get the queen of clubs, a really good card. I want to keep my foot on the gas, so I bet $110. The initial raiser thinks about it for a really long time. He was sort of the OMC type, playing really, really tight. So I was really rooting for a call here. I don't know, maybe he's got like ace, king of diamonds. Maybe he even has aces. Who knows? Hopefully he just can't let up his hand, and hopefully he decides to call. Let's see what he does here. The initial raiser thinks for a really long time and decides to call off for the rest of his stack. I think it was like $105, and now the next player goes into the tank. Thinks and thinks and thinks. I'm like, alright, I want you to call, and he decides to fold. I ask the initial raiser if he wants to run it 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. He just holds up the 1 finger, and I'm like, alright, let's see one river. We see the king of clubs. Hopefully he doesn't have pocket kings. I show him the 6-7 of clubs. No need to slow roll him, and he just mucks his cards. We don't see what he has, but we win a massive pot to end the night. Let's go. I'm super happy with how this one turned out. Thank you guys so much for watching the entirety of my full vlog. Let's go to the outro. Stay for just 30 more seconds to hear me talk about the session. All right, guys. Wow, what a session. That was honestly one of the most fun I've ever had playing poker. The atmosphere was good. I was getting good cards. I was making big hands. I was winning splash pots, making a lot of money, everything in the right direction, everything lined up perfectly for a great session. I called it, said I was going to have a great session. I'm very proud of myself, played very disciplined, played very good poker. I think I did a lot of good things. Obviously made some mistakes per usual, but just have to keep learning. Thank you guys so much for watching the entire video and supporting me throughout this journey. You guys seriously make my dreams come true. Thank you guys so much. And if you haven't, make sure you guys subscribe, follow me on all my socials, join my new Discord account. And as always, have a great day. Thank you guys for watching.